Hi, my name's Arnold Magcale. I'm back at you again. This time I'm being joined by Gary Tinkler, Managing Director, Northern Data, and Shawn with TECfusions.
So yeah, my name's Gary Tinkler. I'm the Managing Director of Northern Data Group's data center arm. Been in the industry far too long. It'll be 29 years in March. So yeah,
wow.
Really, yeah, I know. Can you believe that?
You don't look that old.
I know. I was 17 when I started, funny enough.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, were you 12? Or?
Yeah. No, I was literally 17. I left school at 16. I did a year as an apprentice, architect.
Jedi?
And then, yeah, Jedi, yeah. And and then fell into literally data centers for network cabling. So yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's me.
Well, I'm Shawn Novak, the CRO at TECfusions. This is day 2 of Supercompute 2024. Rocking it here in Atlanta, Georgia. Super rainy out today. I'm joined by probably 2 of the smartest people in the industry, and I just want to cheers.
Where are they at?
We
Cheers.
just
Cheers,
Cheers, mate.
grabbed our Bud Lights just for this talk here. But like what we've been doing for the last couple days here is talking about technology and like where things are heading.
Yeah.
Right. Northern Data Group is doing some pretty rapid stuff out there, and I'm curious, like what are your challenges? Like what are you facing right now? Is it trying to find where to put this stuff? Is it trying to finance where this stuff is going? Like what are your biggest
All of the
challenges?
above.
All the above.
All of the above.
That's great.
Literally all of the above. Yeah. Yeah. No. Great question. I think. Yeah, it is all of the above. The first thing is finding the land that has the power. That is the biggest thing right now. Power is so scarce. I was speaking to a couple of the data center guys through Europe recently, and there's pockets of 3 megawatts, maybe 3.5. But some of the applications that we're asking to be deployed are in the 17 to 20 megawatts, and you cannot find that for love nor money.
And how fast do those need to be deployed?
Oh, like tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, no. In all seriousness, within 6 months.
Yeah.
They're asking it for so quick. Yeah. And to your other point, that is the other biggest part is having the supply chain in place to get that type of deployment delivered. But again, it's not just that as well. Delivering a standard sort of data center setup. Even with sort of high performance compute cooling of 50, 60 kilowatts a rack, that's not too bad to even get done. But these guys are all asking for GB200 now. Yeah. It comes out in sort of January, February, right. And they want it live straight away. But
with no POC, you don't even know how it's working yet.
Exactly.
Like there's no lab that you're testing this out.
The only people that have deployed it is NVIDIA.
Yeah.
It's like, great, okay, well, give us the data,
right,
and we'll figure it out.
What worked for you and what didn't work for you. So when I do go mass deployment on these, I'm not starting at the very beginning of what you already knew didn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of the above challenges, space, power, technology, supply chain, funding, as you mentioned, it's not easy having them amount of funds because the technology that we're deploying now requires sort of like 4-fold the amount of money that we used to have for a traditional 10 kilowatt rack deployment.
That's right. Yeah, and that was one of our conversations we had on the last podcast with Scott. The cost to deploy is one thing. The GPUs, I mean, the companies like yourselves are just spending billions of dollars.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Buying the GPUs, so to go deploy the GPUs, you got to find it. You got to find where to put it.
Absolutely.
There's infrastructure costs that you're putting in place. Yes. I was talking with another client, and they got to the point where they secured 100 megawatts finally, and they figured out how to do it in a timely manner.
Yeah.
But then, and they did some unique financing options with the GPU providers, like I think everybody's doing.
Yeah.
And then it came down to the cabling, and it was $100 million for cabling.
Just for the cabling. Yeah.
How do you get that financed?
Yeah.
So you can't finance that. It's on cost. No. So they had to bail on the entire project because they could not find the $100 million to go
do the cabling.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how tight this market is right now. And I think the other piece that I see is one of the problems that are happening in the industry is everyone needs it yesterday, but they're waiting for their end user to sign with them before they can secure a deal with someone like TECfusions.
Absolutely.
And so you're hanging on, you're hanging on, and then they're like, now we got the deal, we need it yesterday.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Now miracles have to happen, so that way they hit their timeline of that signed contract they have with their end user.
That's it. No, that's exactly how it is, Shawn. 100%. I say I've had multiple conversations today with a number of European facilities, and they're like, when can you sign a deal? We might be able to have it by end of 26, beginning of 27. I'm like, well, I need it sort of like sooner than that, and if you can do that, then I can probably get a commitment from my customer, and they're like, well, we can't do anything until you sign with us, and it's a nightmare, right?
It is a nightmare, and that was the other piece of our conversation, was talking about the partnerships that we've evolved into, like how the only way that all of us are going to be extremely successful on deploying this stuff, and this is what I said, was transparency, right? So if we can all work together and say, hey, I can't do this by myself. As TECfusions, we got a lot of people in TECfusions that are really good at what we do, but I need partners like Arnold, I need partners like NDG, I need partners like USystems, Legrand. Like if we can all get together and then put our heads together, we all have the network, right? We all have that network of people that have the supply chain that can help us deliver products faster, but then we need the people and the resources to 100%. Make sure we can deliver the product faster.
And that's the thing, the scalability of what Northern Data Group has at the moment and where we need to be. I have to rely on Arnold's company, Ultrascale,
that's right,
to help me deliver that. And obviously we've had conversations to see where you can help, and it is a partnership approach. And I was fortunate, I went to Silverstone Racetrack. Unfortunately, I think you couldn't get there. And I know Don George was there from your side. We invited all of the supply chain, and that went through physical products to data centers, to pretty much everyone, and just said, look, we've got to do something that the industry hasn't really ever seen before.
That's it.
And they were like, yeah, that's really surreal, and it is. You're having to rely on friends. We've been friends for years, and you have to work with all these guys and go, look, if you come, I can help you and you can help me.
That's right.
And you have to bring it together, and it's a unique position that we're in right now in the industry.
Yeah, that's a great point. Now, to your point, you and I worked for years together.
Yeah.
Right? We co-developed the rear door, your big ones, and we used it at my previous flight. So where do you see the technology today, going besides the rear door? What do you see? Because to your point, Shawn, too, is technology is moving so fast. If it's taken 3 years to build, right, by the time you wait the 3 years, technology
it's moved on.
It's
absolutely.
You're deploying legacy GPUs by the time you get GPUs deployed.
That's the thing. I mean, I think it's industry known at the moment. I mean, people are talking around here now, 500 kilowatts a rack. I mean, we've only just really accepted 132 kilowatts rack for GB200. Right?
Now we just 5x'd it in less than 3 months.
And we're like, how are we going to call it?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So, I mean, rear doors, as you know, my history with rear doors is significant. They were always the way to enhance the data center delivery right now, and data centers, are only just starting to make that transition to rear doors. Yet the industry we're in with, here at Supercompute and the GPUs that we're trying to deliver from NVIDIA, from my perspective, and AMD, I know you guys have supported. It's a challenge. It's a massive challenge, and we can walk around here, we can look over there, and we can see immersive technologies, right? Immersive is a fundamental means to an end. I think everyone knows that that's going to be the most efficient way, but we're all still, and it's industry-wide, that we're all still nervous about it. We've only really just started to accept DCLC. Rear doors, again, they've been around since the IBM Blue Door, so I mean that's an old technology, but it's more widely used now. DCLC's just been accepted, but we all know that immersive is probably the way. The problem we see with that now is the fluid, and it's, you know, obviously I know you're working on a very good fluid at the moment, but you know, the fluid that we see right now is too unsustainable and inefficient.
Absolutely.
You know, it doesn't degrade for 20 odd years. Unproven.
Yes.
You know, flashpoints, they're like, you know, they say, oh, it's 200, 250, you know, 300 degrees Celsius for flashpoints. I know yours is in excess of 300.
400.
Yeah. These things need to be proven, and even people like NVIDIA, they say, oh, we're not working on it. Well, I'm sure they are, but it's behind closed doors. But are they really using the most efficient technologies right now? Probably not.
That brings up another good point. So like if it's behind closed doors, and we got a lot of very smart individuals on the mechanical side, owning different organizations, right? They're trying to deliver products for the future without knowing what the future looks like. Is that a problem? Like should there be, it's like open source compute, right? Should there be open source on the mechanical systems for the future? And the reason why I ask this question is because if we're gonna build as an owner operator, and I have to build for you for 2 years out, the technology is gonna be 2 years out, I sure as hell don't want to be building something for 17 kW a cabinet today, and then rip everything out for what you're going to be deploying in 2 years.
That's it. It's wasted money.
It's wasted money. And that comes with costs, and it comes with timelines. So if there's I don't know where we're at with this, but I want to be involved in this, and I think there should be an organization that actually allows people to be involved and saying, I have really smart mechanical engineers at TECfusions. You have products that are handling the highest density out there today. So if there's some kind of entity where we all can get together, these engineers are working with those engineers, and we deliver a product, or is it competition and saying like, I want to keep this really close?
I think that's
I'll give you an example. So I was fortunate. I had a conversation with the X team yesterday. We were at a bar, and they sat opposite, and we had a chat, and they've done something that no other company has done. They delivered 100,000 GPUs in 122 days. And obviously Elon's behind it, which fair enough, he's got the money to throw at it.
I was going to say, what did that cost? Let's see.
But it's the approach that was the most interesting thing. They had over 1,000 people on site from about 16 different companies, all working concurrently in tandem to deliver one goal.
That's it.
And that you don't see that. You don't hear of that. But to the point we made 10 minutes ago, you've got to count on the people that you believe in, you trust. You know, like Ultrascale doing work for Northern Data. You know, obviously we're trying to work together at some point. We've got to come together and do something different. And to be fair, Elon and the X team are the ones that have absolutely nailed it right now. And because of that, they've done something that no one else has done. You know, we're turning up, 4,000 GPUs, and it takes us, anywhere between 6 and 8 months. He did it in 122 days.
So that's another good point. So one of our sites, from when we started our construction to when we delivered the power, it was 8 months to 36 megawatts. Like that. That's significant in today's day and age, right? So what is going to accelerate that? Because if Elon, I don't know, I can't do the quick power conversion in my head of 100,000 GPUs, but I'm guessing it's somewhere around 20,000.
Yeah, 20,000 GB200s is. So I'm just trying to do the maths now. So 10,000 is 20 megawatts. So 100,000. Is a lot. It's 200 megawatts.
So that is a significant amount of power. Now I want to see the stats. Just because I like facts. But I want to see the stats when they really started this. The whole thing was, took 3 years to build, and then it was all sitting there, and I just had people moving in cabinets. All right, that's a different story. So the facts behind what actual happens and what was done. But it's still impressive regardless. That's a ton of GPUs.
100%.
And I want to know what these densities are and how they're handling the variable loads on the mechanical system.
Cooling.
Right?
Absolutely.
That is, it's an impressive build, but I want to see it actually live.
Absolutely. But one to your point earlier on, Shawn, supply chain. I said, where are you getting your generators from? Because they're the biggest lead time in the world right now, right? And they were like, oh, we use semi-permanent generators. And I'm like, wow.
So they use temp for all the gens.
They use temp
So they avoided all EPA permitting as well.
All temporary, but they're using them as a temporary permanent solution. I'm like, wow, okay.
But that's how you have to do it.
But when you're Elon Musk and you're you've got trillions in the bank. It's easy.
There's some tricks of the trade, and you know we're not trying to avoid anything, but like if everyone wants to create a revenue stream and they need to have this deployed as soon as possible, there's things you have to do to get it in the market, and then you go back and fix it all on the backside.
That's it. Well, he was saying, what did the guy say? I think he said something like, for every week that they're offline, they lose $100 million. But it costs them $400 million a year to make this a reality by using the generators and the diesel fuel.
That is an impressive stat.
Yeah.
Unreal.
So I ran some models myself, and for 10,000 GPUs, that's small compared to what we're talking about. It was right around $700 million for 2 years, right? That's how much revenue you lose when you take 2 years to build a data center.
Yeah.
We're building data centers in 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's about $500 million revenue you gain back by going quick deployment.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you have SLAs in place? Probably not, right?
No.
Because you're delivering energized capacity that can cool it much faster than having a full out, built out tier 3 M+1 concurrent maintainable, whatever you want to call it, solution. But you're generating revenue right now. You're also hitting the timelines of your end users, your clients that are signing these agreements with you, saying, I need this capacity done yesterday.
Yeah, it's bonkers, absolutely bonkers. So interesting times.
This is interesting times, and we started the last podcast off of like how the industry's grown. You know, from where we started off in the industry to where we're at today. What do you see the future now? Like, where are we headed?
Well, the moon.
The moon.
Yeah.
We do have to get Chris a Lone Star in here at some point, because that is, you know, when's the launch? February 27th? Yeah, February 27th at Cape. Where is that at?
Florida.
In Florida, yeah.
Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, the Cocoa Beach. Thank you. So that's going to be impressive. We all have front row seats to this. Put a data center on the moon. I mean, we can't find data center capacity in the Earth. Let's just go to different planets now.
Absolutely.
That's impressive. So I'm excited for that. I do think you're onto something with that as well. Like the future of our data centers is, you know, innovation is number one.
Oh,
right?
we have to.
We have got to be innovative. I've seen too many data center operators still working on designs we did 20 years ago. Those designs, that type of operations do not work with the future AI deployments that we're doing. If you're not being innovative, if you're not utilizing microgrid technology for power solutions, because let's face it, we're running out of power.
Nuclear that's on its way as well.
Nuclear, we've been talking about nuclear, for 20-something years, but I think we're at that pivotal point where we just have to be able to accept it. Like, you know, the fallouts of it may be bad, but technology has changed so much from the Chernobyl.
We're going to run out of power.
We're going to be out of power.
We're going to need something different.
So then you got the hydrogen, which I don't know what your thoughts are on the hydrogen power.
I've not looked into it as much as what I need to. So can't really comment on that, and I don't want to make myself look stupid.
Right. This will be all over social media. So. So what is? I had one more question before the end here. You know, when you come to events like this, and this is probably this is my first time at Supercompute, by the way, and I think I don't know why I haven't been here in previous lives. This is amazing. There's a lot of innovation that's being had here. There's a lot of AI organizations that are looking for, I need capacity, but I need it 3 days ago. Like all those kind of conversations. There's companies like UDI and like you guys are developing products and doing fit out work for all these different organizations like Norda Data Group. If there was an event that you wanted to see, what event is that? Like, if you were to go to an event and just listen to people talk about innovation, or would you want to see an event at a live data center that shows live GPUs running with live products that are running in those facilities?
Do you know what? It's funny you should say that, because that's something I'm trying to look to implement at Northern Data. we are at the forefront of GPU delivery, right? So, we've got the first European large cluster of H200s going live in December. And yet, I'm trying to find a facility that I can utilize to deliver GB200, but we need it to be a showcase.
Yeah.
We want people to be able to,
right?
that we want people to come and see it. Like you say, it'll be live, it'll be revenue generating for our business, because that's number one. But second, we want to be able to invite some of these people all around here, you guys, come and see it in action, but then also look at how we've done what we need to, because it's all well and good me and the team working on the delivery the way we see it, but you've got just as much as experience as you, Arnold, and there's lots of other people around here that might go, well, what about if you tweaked it like this?
That's the 100%.
That's the bit. You got to.
And you get other. So like, and here's my thought here, and I'd be happy to build you your innovation center at any one of our data centers.
Thank you, man.
But we do have like some thought process that Simon and I were talking about, where we host something at one of our facilities, but we have the AMDs, the Cerebras, the NVIDIAs, and we bring them all in. They give us the GPUs. We utilize different technologies, so you can see different types of cooling platforms. And it's all within a facility that is a live infrastructure. So
absolutely.
you can walk through, and people can pick out, hey, this is going to break.
That's
or
my
this one's
that.
really good. Hey, who's the maker of this? I want to go talk to them because I need this at one of our facilities.
Yeah, agreed.
I think from like there's so many shows that are out there today, and you can sit in all the panel sessions. I can't. You can see me bouncing in my chair as it is. Like to sit still is one of those. It's really hard. But like to go into like a data center to see things that are live in action, especially when we're talking about these densities that we're talking about. And I'll tell you that from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of facilities out there that can't handle this type of load that are deploying these.
100%.
Bad things are happening, right? So like you need to see it in action with real products. And operators that actually can do what they say they can do. Otherwise, you're losing billions of dollars in investment in your GPUs.
Absolutely.
It's funny you bring that up, because this is something I've been talking to you about, right? We're building an innovation center to do exactly that. And what we're doing is we're providing the cooling infrastructure and make it agnostic to any server, right?
Doesn't matter.
We just invite. We don't have to invite everybody. We invite specific, big players to see. This is what it looks like with your infrastructure, right? What do you think? Give us your input, right?
That's right.
And not just, to your point, invite 50 others, right? That see this and see how it performs. And then turn them loose on it.
Right.
We're not going to mandate. You guys want to go ahead, beat it up.
And how cool would that be? Like to go walk into a data center, and I want this to be an innovation data center. Like whether it's 10 megawatts or 50 megawatts, doesn't matter. But it's all different product solutions that you can walk through. They're constantly being updated, and I'm not paying for the updates, right? It's the GPU providers, or it's the mechanical solutions, it's the power systems, it's the turbines that are powering this. So like this is something that's when I talked about this before about a joint effort on how to fix some of this the behind the scenes stuff. Well, this is it, because now you're walking through a site, and every AI customer, every mechanical vendor, every electrical vendor, and every one of us are going through this site going like, oh, I really like this.
I
this
like the look
product
of
is
that.
going to
Absolutely.
You're not. And here it's great because they have all these solutions, but it's not live load. Like you're not really seeing how it really works.
100%.
You go see a liquid cooling cabinet and it starts spraying water the second you hit a disconnect. And you're like, all right, well. Let's show that in a live environment.
See all the alarms go off. But I think you're right. The industry has to change. Because technology's changing, and we've got to do different things. We've got to bring our partners all together and help deliver a go-to-market strategy that allows us to keep up with the demand. And again, I think,
to that point, I think the biggest difference is when I started my previous company 12 years ago, right? I was introducing liquid water cool to the data center. I got so much shit for that, right? I was like, there's no way you're gonna put water in my hundreds of millions of dollar computer.
Well, candidly, it was in the ocean. It's like salt and electronics.
But look at it now. Is my point is we've got technology that's out there. They have no choice.
Yeah.
They have to adapt.
That's right.
Left out,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So it's much different now.
Yeah, it is.
So. That's a fair point. I mean, again, going back to the innovation, like we just can't keep doing the things we've done in the past, and we have to adopt. I remember that when I think he was here. It was a 3M solution at Cargill. So that was the first immersion cooling I've seen in my career. And going in there, he's like, "Go ahead, stick your hand in." And I was like,
what?
Electricity?
Yeah.
Hand, water. I've been taught a lot of things. I might not be the brightest.
So
but this seems like a trap.
Really want to
this
do
seems
that.
like a trap.
I'll take it a bit further now. We were at Cargill's facility, and it's biodegradable. So their VP over there and I did a shot
Of the fluid.
Yeah, the fluid. I'm still here. So.
No kidding. They didn't tell me to drink it. Now that maybe I would have done that, but
drink it, so I go, okay, I'll drink it.
No, but that was ahead of its time, I think. But I think now with evolution, we're there. That was like 15 something years ago that I saw that, right?
Yeah.
So now we're getting to the densities that you just cannot push that much air. There's not enough CFM.
No.
These chips are so tiny on these cards, and they're so hot. And I know they have hybrid solutions with cold plate and some air, and those are having some issues still. I don't think we perfected it. But if, again, going back to this innovation, if we all try this together, maybe
we find that main one solution.
Can figure it out.
Absolutely.
Right.
But then you lost your competitive advantage, and everyone else is going to do it. So maybe that's why they don't want anyone to figure it out.
Absolutely.
No, this has been phenomenal. So again, I want to
thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining. You guys are awesome. USystems are grand. Thank you so much for having us on.
Absolutely. It's been awesome.
Thanks, guys.
No, great.